Yes. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Club Call. It is Wednesday, the 6th of March. Good evening. So if you are a Toffee TV Premier member, call in. Have your say. We are here to listen to you put your point across. Anything you want to say, anything you want to talk about, want discussion, get it in right now. Dylan, just very quickly, he's there, and I'm only mentioning this because you mentioned this.
Yeah.
Says, forget about Everton. The most important question is, are you watching Shogun?
Yes, I've watched the first episode, and it's fantastic.
Is it, though?
No, it is.
Sell it to me. Sell it to me very quickly.
I can't sell it to you because you're just not interested in these things. But basically...
You don't know if I'm interested
it's
in
about
these things.
Japan.
I'm going to watch
in like
Napoleon because you've said that.
It's about Japan in the 16th century. And basically, half of it's in Japanese, so it's got subtitles. And
I'm all day for that.
The rest of it's in English, but it's not actually English. It's Portuguese, but they're speaking English, but they're actually speaking Portuguese.
Okay.
But to make it easier.
Yeah.
And basically, it's Japan. There's been a bit of a kick-off. The Shogun has died, and they've put people in place who are like in charge of different areas. There's a bit of a standoff.
Have you got like a sporting director? Is that what it feels like?
Not really.
Okay.
5 sporting directors.
Okay.
We're all like, it's like Everton.
Yeah.
Basically,
it's a mess.
It's like Everton in 2017.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
All these number 10s. They're all just there. And then this boat turns up full of like fellas who were all a bit ravaged and all a bit, And basically the main one is like a jag Tom Hardy. He speaks like Tom Hardy. He looks a bit like Tom Hardy. They clearly wanted Tom Hardy, but they couldn't afford Tom Hardy. She's got this other fella. And he's like the first English fella to land on Japanese soil.
So is the scenery unbelievable and all that?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, okay.
And basically, I've only watched the first episode, but you can tell straight away, loads of money spent on it. A few well-known people in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, basically, you're going to see how this English fella goes in there. There's other foreigners, but not many, because the Portuguese have already been, and they brought Catholicism with them.
Catholicism,
exactly. I can't even say the word.
Yeah. Okay,
and that's caused a bit of a issue with the gaff as well.
Okay,
but it's just
so
it's not like ultra like serious. Like, I mean, it's not a comedy, but it's not everything's like dark and gloomy. Yeah. There's a little bit of the English fella because he is like a proper English fella. He brings a little bit of
okay.
And it's good. And
Dylan says, just watch the first 2 episodes, give it a go, you'll be hooked. Yeah, okay, mate, I will give it a little tinkle.
Yeah. It is. I've enjoyed the first episode, and I'll watch the second one.
No problem. I'll have a little.
And everyone's giving it basically 10 out of 10 in the world.
I mean, RC says, is it samurai? And Steve Murphy says, watches Kid in 70s, better one. I don't know. I don't know whether Steve's saying
watch as a kid in the 70s.
Is the one called As a Kid in 70s, or is he talking about Samurai or whatever?
Yeah. Ian, I watched Napoleon, and I wouldn't say it was awful. What I would say is that it's
don't waste time on it.
If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Don't expect this like absolutely historical.
No.
I found it funny. I found some of the things he said funny. I found him funny. I found the way to check whether he could have kids or not very interesting.
Yeah.
So again, there you go.
I'm gonna watch Benjamin Franklin. Seen that advertised on Apple last night. Michael Douglas.
Well, there's a new one coming on Apple, which is basically about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, and that looks really interesting. That looks really interesting.
I've got to check out quite clearly. I'm going to check out Benjamin Franklin because I've literally just said it
on the Benjamin Franklin.
I think I'm going to watch Hamilton next year. So
Hamilton, interesting.
There you go.
I mean, that's about fellas rapping.
But I know, but it's quite clearly about Alexander Hamilton, isn't it?
I seen his grave when I was in New York.
Yeah.
Seen his grave when I was in New York.
No, he sent me the thing.
Yeah, Trinity.
He sent me the thing, and I sent it on to my missus and my daughter, who absolutely love Hamilton. You see?
I was like, there he is.
So
dead. And it was the same.
It'd have been weird if he'd have been stood there alive.
And it was the same church from National Treasure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trinity.
Incredible.
There you go.
Trinity. Holy Trinity. Some might say the Holy Trinity.
Yeah. We've got Eddie.
We've got Eddie.
Oh, okay, we'll give him a minute then.
All right.
Just keep on talking about stuff.
Okay. Well, it's up to you.
Andy Ring says, why is our best fullback sitting on the bench?
As he give us the clarity.
I think he's so much Shamey.
He's talking about Shamey.
I think he's somewhat Seamus.
I don't know. That's up to the manager. Have we got Sharpie? Have we got Sharpie? Sharpie, are you there?
Yeah,
and what do you want to say?
Can you hear me, lads?
Yes, very loud.
Wonderful. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, mate. Loud
Aren't
and
you
clear.
lucky to have me twice in 2 weeks? I mean, you must feel very fortunate.
Absolutely, mate. This is your show, so off you go.
Okay, there's a few things I wanted to chat to you about. Actually, a little bit of a mix. One is Everton conversation. Two is sport in general, followed by a Everton trivia quiz. Are you up for it?
I mean, when you said quiz, that sounded like you're going to take in the entire show, but
Go on.
Okay, a quiz question.
Go on then. Go on.
Anyway, no. I wanted to start with the match, the West Ham match. And as always, after the match, I watch Ped's like Gladys Street reaction, and it just bemuses me that there's applause going on, right? Now, Ped, you can hear that applause coming. Is that coming from the Gladys Street?
I can hear many things when I'm doing my videos. Look, yeah. No, there's obviously there's a bit. The players come down to the down, and some people applaud them, and because the ground by then was pretty much empty, you're gonna hear them, yeah.
How can you applaud that though? I don't get how you can applaud. I mean, this is not a one-off. I just don't get how you can applaud performances like that. And do you get it?
I'll tell you what I don't get.
Go on, Bash, you go on.
I'll say no. Just the thing that I don't get is the whistle goes, and if it's been a poor performance, people boo and are fuming, and then the minute a player starts clapping, they start clapping.
Yeah.
So that's the bit I don't.
Yeah.
You either don't boo and just clap as normal, no problem with that, or surely just because a player decides to clap, you start clapping then, and therefore abandoning your disapproval. Do you know what I mean? Do one or the other. Either's fine.
There's a hypocrisy there, isn't there?
Well, I don't know. I think people are disappointed. Do you know what I mean? And things always are magnified when you're getting hit from pillar to post, and we are getting kicked from pillar to post. Now, it's why I start laughing when these things go around like social media, and we get ripped as being like terrible fans. It's like we're there every single week. 3,000 Evertonians go all over the country every single game, rain, hail, shine. We have nothing. We get nothing. We won 3 home games all season. We're there all the time. These other clubs who. And I'm thinking of one very close with their fans, like, oh, you booed again. You know, their manager told them how about like calming down and staying and supporting the team the other week, only the other week, when they've been winning things and been up battling at the very top. And it won't be all Liverpool fans, of course, it won't be. And other clubs have this as well. Other clubs bitch and moan.
Where are you, Baz? Where do you sit in the
I'm
ground?
in the upper Bullens, mate.
Okay. Right, and do you get similar people in there as well? They're clapping as well. Is it something which happens all around the ground?
But listen, it is with people because
it just blows my mind, to be honest.
I think there'll be people who will clap even if Everton have lost 12-0.
Yeah.
Right, and there'll be people who are fuming even if Everton have played amazing and got beat 1-0. If it's just one of them days. And then there's people who are in between. Some clap, some are frustrated. I actually, on Saturday, I thought there was more. I was more worried on Saturday at the final whistle that there was a few boos, but there was more like a resignation of like, we're going down. That's how it felt.
Yeah,
not even. I've sat there and felt we're in trouble. We need to get a grip. Saturday was more like, we're getting relegated.
Here we go again.
And no,
kind of like here we go again.
But worse. Thing, right? It just felt worse. Like the reaction was almost like we're going and there's nothing we can do about it. Where in the past there's been more anger or more worry. It just felt a bit like, that's what we do. We play others and we get beat. It's just normal. And that's worse to me. I'd rather there be like veins bulging in people's necks and people are fuming and angry or whatever. It was more just like, we play at home, we lose. That's what we do. That's how it kind of felt. People were like shrugging the shoulders a little bit, and it's like, that was a little bit more.
Sad state, isn't it? It's a sad state for sure. Have you guys ever like questioned those guys that clap after something like that? Have you ever questioned them?
I never would, Sharpie, ever.
No.
I find it mad when people boo and then clap if someone just because a player claps. But
Right.
I wouldn't question because everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everybody, why should I have any right to say to someone, why are you clapping or why aren't you clapping? It's got nothing to do with me. I'd pull someone if they were racially abusing someone or whatever. But I wouldn't ever say to an Evertonian, you shouldn't be clapping there or you should be clapping. I'd never question.
I don't mean like I shouldn't, but just out of curiosity, like what are you clapping for?
Yeah, but everyone's got their own. Everyone has their own bar. Everyone has their own standards. Everyone has their own opinion, don't they? So
I'd ask. I'd want to know why.
But that's okay. But it's the same for people who think that there's no issue. The fact we've only won 3 home games or we haven't won a game since December. Some people will make you believe that everything's fine. And there'll be other people who make you believe that the world's about to end because of it. So you have to try to just... Well, I just try to look at everything like directly down the middle and go, yeah, but look at what's happening. That isn't good enough, or that they're unlucky, or whatever. So I mean, would you ever question someone for clapping, or do you think?
I did last season. I think question or shout at people for clapping. I didn't understand. It was a much worse game than Saturday. There was loads. It was the same thing. It's like you're booing them, and then they come over and you bottle it because there's a human and you can see the whites of their eyes. And I better clap them because Michelin.
What if they thought? I'm just being devil's advocate here, of course. What if they thought the team was crap, but Michelenko played well?
Well, but then I don't think you should pull. It's a team sport.
Yeah, it's a team game.
And I think there's a few people.
I'm not giving the. I'm not
like, I think if Kane was watching this, like he'd back me up on this because I think he was similar on that day. I can't remember who it was against, but it was absolutely terrible. And they came down, and I was just like, "What? Why are you clapping? What are you clapping for?" Like they were literally terrible, and. Like, maybe I might have been in the wrong there, and I've got no problem with that. It's an emotional, an emotional thing, isn't it? When you see,
I think it depends how you ask as well, doesn't it?
No, I was just saying, like
that kind of question in the heat of the moment is probably a bad idea.
I was just like, I was just maybe speaking out loud, like, what are you clapping? Because what I've just seen is absolutely disgusting. Saturday was a bit weird because I mean, I certainly didn't boo them after the game because I just found Saturday to be such a strange game. We had so many chances and we blew them. And I don't know whether you could actually have a go at the effort on Saturday. I don't know. The people will say different. That's fair enough. Everyone's got the right to their own opinion. I was just shocked that we'd been beaten on Saturday, and I was just a bit like stunned at the end. No, I was. I thought we were massively in control of that game on Saturday. I was just left completely stunned by how we'd thrown it away, and I was just flabbergasted by it. And to be honest, to have any kind of reaction to it, and then I can articulate myself when I leave the ground, and I can speak on the camera. That's the way I like to do it. But yeah, it is a strange one. You're right in what you're saying in general about like. I mean, I think a lot of people make their feelings known because the ground's empty. Again, I don't always agree with that. I don't always feel like at 3-1, I understand why people get off. At 2-1, I'm not always. I don't quite understand. I can't tell other people. I can't quite. It's not like Burnley. You 4-0 down after 30 minutes. 2-1 when. I mean, and I just feel sometimes for their own sake that over the years we've seen Everton pull stuff out the fire in the last minute. And if Garner could have thrown in a corner, maybe we could have done it again. But yeah, it is an odd one. It is an odd one, but
it is. There's people are different.
Yeah, that's it. People are all different.
It does seem weird. It does seem weird, especially after especially you guys are paying good money to watch that, and
bad money. Actually, it's actually bad money I'm paying.
I'll be honest.
Is it bad money?
I'll be honest. On Saturday, like we don't listen. Everton don't play good football. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Just the way it is. But on Saturday, they could have won the game. I don't think it was for lack of effort. I think the problem you've got is not being able to close a game out. So I think there's been way worse performances. Crystal Palace was 25 times worse than that performance on Saturday. But ultimately, people are frustrated and booing because it's, if Everton had won 10 home games this season and that was one of them days, you shake your head and you walk out and you go, we should have put that game to bed there. But this is just a culmination. Saturday is a culmination of an awful season at home, and it's been an awful. No one can sit there and defend the manager or the players for the way they performed at Goodison Park this season. We're in April next time we play. We've won 3 games, so that's why people are pissed off. But Saturday in isolation, was one of them days we should have won the game. I think Mikel Antonio said he can't, basically Everton should have won the game until we equalised. Once we equalised, that was the thing. But we didn't, and that's why people are upset, because, like I said, you can take that game in isolation because you'd all have them. I mean, can't remember us going away and being battered and winning one. That'd be a novelty. But it does happen. Saturday wasn't like an awful performance, but it's just, there's no...
It builds up, doesn't it?
That's it. It's just this, and the worry as well, don't forget. Like, if Everton was safe, Everton had 40 points. That's a different game again, isn't it? You get beat, you go... You get on with it, but where we are, we need wins.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one because I could talk about that all day. It really wants me out. Okay. Go ahead. The next one is more about like sport in general, right? And especially football. But okay, what I've sort of like noticed, certainly in recent years, is that oppositions and all the teams, everyone just seems to be so friendly towards each other, and they're all mates, and they're all hanging out, and they're all. Do you know what I mean? If you cast your mind back 25 years to like the Premier League. There was, you had things like the Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira and situations like that, and those kind of duels. But now everyone just sort of seems to be just mates, and I don't mean just on football either, but in other sports. I watch a bit of darts, and they go away, and you see all the players all hanging out together afterwards. And don't you think that's? I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think in other sports, I think in other sports, I can understand why, because I imagine things like Formula 1 and darts and
tennis.
Snooker, that's just a road show. It's a
tour. They're all
in each other's, Formula 1 fellas, you watch the documentary, they're all mates. They're all a lot of them are similar age.
Golfers and the darts.
And they're all mates, and they all hang out with each other, and they probably spend more time with each other
than they do
at home with their family.
Do you think this is a new thing though, or is this always been like this, or is it just because there's so much exposure on the internet and TV now that we're actually seeing more of it?
Yeah, I think it's always been like this.
I think football, in football in this city. In the 80s, the Everton Liverpool players used to go out with each other all the time.
And no one could believe it when you'd see them together, because th'd have a right good goal.
There's a place called the Conti.
They'd always go to Conti on a Saturday night, both of them.
Next door to Cream, what became Cream. And they'd all be in there together, and they were all mates. That's just the way it was, because they were all in the same city, and they all... Because there's only certain places they'd go because of everything, The
other places were Plumbers. They were always in Plumbers and the Conti all together.
And if you ask any ex-Everton player from the 80s, they'll always tell you the same. They'll give you the same sort of kind of stories. I think maybe in the 90s, I think it might have just been like Manchester United and Arsenal, and maybe we extrapolate that and think that was everyone. Or Merseyside derbies might have got a bit heated, and just because everyone wasn't English and Irish and Scottish, maybe there was different cultures.
But look at those like the derbies in the noughties. Right, it was like Cahill, Arteta, Riche, Alonso, and someone else. They all lived in by Culverstone's Park together. Riche and Cahill, I think they were actually neighbours, and the derby they'd be squaring up to each other, heading each other's face, and then they'd go home, and all the wives and everyone were all mates. So they'd always be together, like the Spanish players at Liverpool. Arteta, he'd always be out with Reina and all people like that. They were always together. Xabi Alonso and him were mates, have been mates since kids, so they'd kick each other in the derby and square up and mouth off to each other. But at the end of the day, they're doing a job, aren't they? That's their job. So they go in, they play footy, they train, it comes to a match day. Yeah, they want to win, so it creates that rivalry on the day. And then in the night, especially like in derbies, in the night, they're in the same city, they're all mates, or they're all out in Manchester together.
I get your point
Fans,
as well,
it's
though.
different with fans because it's our thing, innit?
But I get your point of like, I never want to, like, I think the best one that ever was when Gary Neville and Phil Neville were captain against each other and they wouldn't even look at each other. That was their attitude. And that's the attitude I want. I don't want players hugging each other before the game or at half time or any nonsense swapping shirts before games, half times, whatever. But when the final whistle's gone, I've seen, people go, why are you, look at him laughing and joking with so-and-so. And it's just like, yeah, but the game's over and it is a game to them.
Some of it you don't want to.
No,
like
there's
bits I didn't want to see, like Lampard hugging Chelsea players when they beat us. And there was another game recently where they're laughing on the pitch and it's like, just do it down the tunnel.
Yeah,
no problem. I'm not bothered. You're your mates. And it's. I watched the MLS on Saturday night. Inter Miami beats Orlando. So the Florida derby. Inter Miami beats Orlando City 5-0.
Yeah.
And at the end, the players are laughed. Like Orlando players are there with the mic and they're talking and laughing their heads off. And I'm looking, thinking,
the kind of you never want to see.
You've just been beaten 5-0 in a derby, and you're there laughing your heads off. Like, go down at
I just can't get that.
Because as a fan, you don't want to see it. Do you? You want them to be hurt like you are.
And that plays into the part of, again, just some maybe putting the two things together. You've just said it's like when certain players are like throwing their arms up to the fans and saying, come on, sing or whatever, and you're like, no, you concentrate on your job, mate. You do what you're supposed to do and we'll do what we're supposed to. Don't be interacting with the crowd because you want, I don't, like, there's, you know what I mean? There's a lot of that, because I think that feeds into the frustration of fans when it's like at the end of a game where people come over and the pat and the badge and all that, and it's like, no, you didn't do your job. That's why people aren't like falling for what you're doing. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, there could be different ways. I'd like it if managers were like, it was like boxing, going, we're going to get into them. You watch yourself. first 10 minutes.
Can't do that no more,
and we're coming for you in the first 10 minutes. You watch your back and all that. See, I like it when all like the Twitter accounts have a go with each other and all that. I love all that. It's brilliant. It's part of the course, I think. There should be more of that in football.
Like you say, it's probably always been there, but with internet, social media, we're just seeing it a lot more, I suppose. Okay. Right. So, what have I got for you? So, I've got a quiz question for you. I want to test your knowledge.
Go on, mate.
So, I was, when was it? The other day when we were playing in, I think they call it the R08 top. It's called Hot Coral, I think it's called these days, right? Is that right? Is that the name?
Oh, the kit.
Yeah.
The kit.
Yeah, sorry, the kit. Yeah. Well, I mean, it reminded me, it cast my mind back years ago when I bought an Everton away top, and I'm pretty sure it was called Salmon Pink.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but we had it up, but we haven't.
And I think, that was my first top, and I remember buying it because I remember buying it because it was like going cheap. I was broke at the time. I think I paid 16 quid for it.
Yeah, I'll pass you a second. Do you mean this one, Sharpie? Throw it.
Yeah, I can't see you, mate. But yeah, it's the
you can't see us.
No.
There's going to be a delay.
Okay. All right. Well, it's there anyway. There'll be that one. But yeah, go ahead, mate. So go on.
Okay. And it sort of cast my mind back. Anyway, I wanted to get a quiz question for you.
Go on.
So, and who's going to get it first? So it took me back to a time. I had to confirm when it was. I think I was 2 or 3 years out. But I remember scoring Bakayoko. Bakayoko scored a brace in the Premiership.
Mm.
Can you remember the result, the team, and the year?
Blackburn Rovers 2-1. Yellow kit.
Was it yellow? It wasn't the salmon?
It wasn't salmon pink. Not Bakayoko. No.
Oh,
and it would have been.
Okay.
All that build up.
It would have been. So would that been 98, 99? Was it the old 99?
You're good. Yeah, you're good, man.
We won 2-1. I think we went 1-0. Hang on. We went 1-0 behind. Ashley Ward scored for Blackburn after about 4 minutes. And I thought, here we go again. And the Bakayoko got 2 and we won 2-1. I think it was a Wednesday night away at Blackburn. We won 2-1.
Indeed, but I completely ballsed up the question because it's a completely different top. It was the yellow one, was it?
I think he was in yellow.
Yeah, it was the yellow.
Yellow and like black dark.
Yeah, it was like their training kit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had that kit.
I think all the goals, I think, all the goals were in the same end as well. I think we were getting beat 1-0 at half time. I'm sure he got a header. Sure he scored a header to win it. We won 2-1. Like I say, Ashley Ward would give them the lead, I think, after 4 minutes or something. We beat them 2-1. And that was a massive win. That was a massive win. Yeah.
Yeah, and his second one, I think it was just a one-on-one with the keeper, and he slid it by him from memory. But yeah, you got it right, Badge. You got the result. Top points to you.
Yeah, then I'll throw a quiz question back at you then. Who did Bakayoko make his debut against, and what was the score? No, this is for Sharpie.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Put it on screen, Ed. This was the Bakayoko kit.
98-99. It's the third kit.
Can you name it, Sharpie? Come on, mate. Come on.
His debut.
It'll take you 4 seconds. It was in the October, wasn't it? And I'll tell you the story around it. I was in London.
Oh, yeah.
I'd gone to see my sister-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with my missus, but we were staying for a few days. So I got the train back on the Saturday morning. I got the 6:45 train back from London to Lime Street. And I was on the train, and Trammy were playing Watford. And these Watford fans were doing a camera, the Real Ale thing.
Oh, yeah.
So they had this map, and they wanted to go to Real Ale pubs as well in Birkenhead before the game. And I got on the train. It was the 4 seats where 2 were opposite, and there was a table. And I was thinking, I'll get my head down here because these are Watford fans and all that. They started talking to me, didn't they?
Oh.
And that was it. I got no sleep.
I hate it when people talk to me.
It was a 12. Was it a 12 kickoff as well? The game.
No, I think it was 3 o'clock.
Was it 3?
Yeah, I think
sure
so,
it was it. But anyway, I got picked up from Lime Street, went to match. Bakayoko made his debut. I won't say any more.
So no, you haven't. So
haven't got it.
We've give you enough time to Google this.
So it's Liverpool, isn't it? Merseyside derby. And it's 0-0.
0-0.
Jamie Carragher played centre back. I thought we were gonna batter them. I thought he was gonna be our saviour.
Greatest player since.
And I think he had the chance early on as well, but it was 0-0. We drew 0-0 at Liverpool.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
He didn't have the best career for Everton.
No.
I think he
scored some key goals. Bristol City away in the FA Cup. Free kick. The 2 at Blackburn. He scored, I think his last goal for Everton was Southampton at home, wasn't he? We beat them 1-0. I think.
Right.
He scored at the park. Well, he got about 25 yards out, rasped it in to the park, and we won 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm sure Michael Madar might have been.
These players.
Michael Madar players.
We kill for them now, wouldn't we?
We kill for them.
Absolutely.
By the way, Michael Madar, who left Everton to sign for Paris Saint-Germain, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
Amazing.
Incredible.
Absolutely amazing.
There you go.
Isn't it?
Anyway, lads.
Great call, Sharpie.
Thanks, mate. Sharpie, lad.
Yeah,
See you later.
Yeah,
All right. Ta-da, mate.
See you later.
It's a great kit, that. I give that away to a girl. A girl.
Nice. Well,
Give it away to a girl.
Fair play to you.
Yeah.
What did she give you? Yeah, there you go. A few people just saying the
Good
class.
times.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I've still got the shorts, actually.
The shorts were lovely.
I mean, they're like cardboard now.
Yeah, they will be, but they were nice. That kit, there was some boss kit.
We've got Eddie. Eddie's here.
Was Eddie here?
Eddie's
okay,
here.
go ahead, Ed. Eddie the Eagle.
Eddie in
Are
Texas.
you there?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Eddie.
How are you guys doing?
Okay, mate.
Yeah, okay, mate.
So I wanted to touch a little bit on the game, as well.
Go for it.
I might be the only one who thought, but I think we kind of played well, like better than the last couple weeks in terms of it was more of a fun game to watch, at least in the second half, than what we've been seeing recently. So I did like that. Like the score was this morning. I thought I turned it off after they scored. After Suchek scored, I just gave up at that point. But in my opinion, I think Beto deserves to start now. Like he scored, he missed the penalty. He looked like he wasn't going to score when he was doing his run up in the first place, which is surprising because he looked so much more confident when we had the penalty shoot up in the cup earlier. I don't know what happened. Like when we awarded the penalty, and Beto grabbed the ball. Originally, I was like, he's gonna score. But then, like, just looking at his body language, it looked like he was not going to make it. But that's beside the point. What I wanted to say was, like, do you think Beto now earned his starting spot? or do you think we'll revert going back to Dom going forward?
No, he scored, doesn't he? So I mean, if you scored, I don't know how you can be dropped really. But Baz,
I'd leave him in. But then again, man, you away. No, I'd leave him in. He scored, and he done. I wouldn't say I've said this, and whether people agree with me or not, I don't know. But I wouldn't have taken him off when he did on Saturday, because he just scored a goal and was causing them real problems, and his confidence was up. And then the next minute he took him off. I know he's done that thing again, hasn't he? He's had our subs warmed up, ready to come on, and they scored. I'd have thrown Dom on with him, I think. Because I know it hasn't I can't say it hasn't always worked. It hasn't worked yet. But that shouldn't be a reason for you not to keep trying it, because neither winger was doing anything at the weekend. Harrison wasn't playing well. McNeil wasn't playing well. So he could have easily done what he ended up doing, which was put James Garner wide. He could have moved him wide to the right and let Dom go up with Beto. And then if it kind of stopped working, he could have then took Beto off and put a midfielder on, which he ended up doing with Gomez. So I was a bit disappointed he took him off at the weekend, because I think as a centre forward, when you get a goal, you feel like you're going to get another one, and your confidence is up, and then you're relying on the other lad who's just come on to get into the game, which Dom didn't really. He ran around, he did not for lack of trying, but he just didn't get into the game. And so I'd go with Beto again, I think, and then see how he does. If he's not playing well, take him off, put Dom on. But I think just right now, why not? And the way United playing Beto in on angles for him to run in and battle and scrap might be a better tactic than just knocking it long.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Ped? I don't know.
I think he scored, so if a player scores for Everton, you stay in the team. No, unless we're going to go and play a different way again. Like I agree with you, Ed. I didn't mind the way we tried to play. Not saying it was effective or it was great, but I didn't mind the way we tried to play on Saturday, rather than just going long all the time. But Saturday, you might change back to being going long ball again, because we're playing away. And if that's the case, then you have to start Dom. But I'd try and be a little bit better on the ball, not be so high like we were last year against Man United. But you're not going to have a lot of the ball maybe against Man United, as you need to be at home. So he scored. He'll be full of confidence. He'll be saying it's my shirt now, and it's up to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If you want to create those standards of taking the shirt off the next fella, and that's what he seems to be doing. He's done that at like right back and other positions. Then I think he's got to stick to that.
Yeah. With Dan Juma also coming back, would you bench one of our wingers to put him on, or do you think it's more about the shape and about the way we play, where Dan Juma won't be able to get in? Because even though he hasn't done much, I feel he's still more of a threat, like a goal threat, than both of our wingers, because he's more selfish, which he'll take shots, which is what we don't really see from our other two.
I think he got injured at exactly the wrong time, Dan Juma. Yeah. Like literally
he just got back in the side.
Literally just got injured at the wrong time. And it's sometimes it's like Garner getting injured last week didn't seem that massively important because Onana was back and stuff, but just a Garner Gay would have been brilliant to put on Saturday after like 75 minutes or whatever, just to grab hold of that midfield. And I think it's the same with Dan Juma. He got injured at the worst possible time because Dwight McNeil just looks burnt out. And, you know, we need some freshness, even if it's just coming off the bench at first. And that shows you how bad our squad is that anytime just one player goes out the team, you're looking around going, oh my God,
what's that? Yeah.
Who's going to take their place? Who's going to take their place on the bench? There is nobody. It puts so much pressure on the manager and so much pressure on the players to get through games. And other teams can make 4 subs and the quality remains the same, even if they're bang average teams. We can't, and that's a massive problem with this football team, and that's why they all look burnt out now, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that why it looks like, because we've gotten a lot of draws like recently? So do you think? Well, I based off that, I think part of the reason is we are playing a little bit more conservative just because of the size of our squad and the lack of depth we have in places. Because outside of right back, I don't think there's any other position that really has like depth that we trust. I guess It depends if Andre Gomez can stay healthy because he looked good at least when he first came back. Yeah, Saturday's game didn't make him look that well. He didn't do much, but I don't think really any of the subs did anything when they came on.
No, they didn't get an opportunity to. They were coming on so late, and again coming on after. Again, no issue with saying this. I think the manager's subs and his game management is really, really poor. I have no issue with saying that. For you're allowed, if people are allowed to say how amazingly he's done creating, a defensive unit, then we can equally say his subs and his his game management is really poor. And I think he showed that again at the weekend. I think at 1-0 up, that's when you've got to make changes or look to make changes. And he's making changes when we're 2-1 down. Or even at 1-1, you go, we're at home, we're going to go and win this game. And he didn't. And you just said it there. He gets lots of draws. Well, we were talking about this yesterday on a live show on Toffee TV Premier. And we were saying, when he was in charge of Burnley in that final season, I'm sure he lost less games than Everton did. But he was drawing so many games that's why they were where they were. And again, we were having a discussion yesterday saying if David Moyes became free, would you take him over Dyche? And I would. But the simple reason is, Sean Dyche has not created a culture of winning games of football. Certainly at home. What he's created is a culture of trying not to lose games of football, which is great. But at some point, this club, whether it be next season, if everything goes to plan this season, has to start pulling away from where it is in the table and it has to start looking up. And if your culture is don't lose games of football, where are you going to end up as a club? You're always going to end up exactly where we are now. If you look at games and go, well, we're drawing 1-1, that's it, put a pin in this game, then how are you ever going to get away from where you are? Now and again, you have to take risks. And I know Frank Lampard got caught in this, and certainly the Wolves game when he said, it was the crowd's fault. They made me want to win the game. They forced the players to try and win the game. But I think if you're a club going forward, you have to look at it and go, we need to start winning games here. And I think that's the difference for someone like Moyes. I think personally, other people might disagree, and that's fine. Someone like David Moyes has proven at Everton and West Ham that not only can he get you away from the bottom of the table, but he can take you up the league. There's no evidence bar one season at Burnley that Sean Dyche can do that. Now that's a sunny day plan. That's not what we're trying to do right now. But I'm talking in the future. For me, this manager has to become less risk averse and start saying it's 1-1. We're at home. We need to take Dwight McNeil off because he looks absolutely knackered, and he's not offering as much as maybe someone like Dobbin could by being direct. And I know that's not always there for the manager, and I know Dobbin's hit and miss. We all know that. I'm not saying, but how bad does someone like McNeil have to become in a game to be dragged off on the 75th minute? Because I thought on Saturday he just looked shattered, and he was a shell. Yeah. So I think for me, we've got to start. Because the problem is, you get to a point in the season where you have to win games of football and you can't rely on draws, and that's a real issue. That becomes a real issue. Then, because every time we don't win a home game, the pressure goes on the next home game. And what if you don't win that? So it was all on Palace, didn't win it. So then it goes all on West Ham, we didn't win it. So it's now all on the next one. Who's the next one? Burnley. So we've got to beat Burnley. We've got to. And the pressure, if you don't win it, then the pressure goes on. We're running out of games. We're running out of games to get ourselves in a nice, safe position.
Yeah. Would you guys get rid of Dyche in the summer or not? I guess not in the summer. I would say because his contract ends next Christmas, right?
Well, it'll be the following summer. He's got a year. He'll have a year in. He signed a 2.5-year deal, I think, when he came in. So his contract will be the end of 25, won't it?
Yeah. Would I get rid of him? Well, if everything's the way it is now, I probably wouldn't. What fundamentally has to happen at this football club is that there's a top-down strategy that means that we can start talking about the manager. Not only the manager, though, the director of football. who we have to talk about as well in that team as well, and say, we need to build a structure at this team that starts at the top, this club, starts at the top, and then goes into the director of football, and then goes into the manager. Not the other way round, because nothing will be achieved if you do that. And if they bring a structure in that says, thank you, but you know, we're changing plans because we've got this new director of football and he wants to go in a different way, or whatever it is, then so be it. But I don't think there's any point in maybe changing a manager when if we haven't changed the top of the club, because otherwise you're just going to have the same problems we've had for the last few years, which are, I think we were talking about it yesterday, wasn't it? It's like Brands wanted Marco Silva, but they only didn't want Marco Silva, so what's the point of having Brands? Mm-hmm. What's the point?
Yeah.
So there has to be that structure, that through line.
Mm. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Eddie, what's the weather like?
Yeah,
Come on, cheer us up.
It's been actually really hot the last couple days. We were in the 90s.
Nice.
So I don't know what the 90s are in.
Well, it's just the 90s. Just
we understand the 90s.
Yeah, we understand 90s.
We understand it.
Yeah.
We work on.
It's the cold numbers we don't understand.
We work on things like 90s and 80s. We don't work on, it's 31 today. We don't work on that here.
It's the cold ones when you go, it's 27. We're like, what's 27?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It's pretty hot actually. I've been golfing the last couple days and getting
nice.
nice.
God.
Wait.
I'd like to just not be freezing when I go outside. That'd be a start.
Yeah. The sky.
Is it that cold?
The sky in England is grey. It's just grey. It's not blue. It's not black. It's just grey all the time.
It's basically, even though it hasn't today, but in general, it's rained since October.
Yeah, literally.
And it's March.
Yeah.
So
see, that sounds amazing to me.
No, it's not.
No.
Have you ever seen
90s and getting a tan when you go outside? Sounds amazing.
Have you ever seen the cartoon How to Train a Dragon?
Yeah.
That's literally where we live. That's literally where we live, honestly. Ned actually looks like... You look like the kid out of that.
Yeah,
you do, Ned. You do. Hiccup. There he is, little hiccup. Oh, Ned. New name.
I mean, your camera
brother.
should be on at all times. You know this.
You look like...
I look like his dad, which is ironic.
You look like the dragon.
Do I? Toothless, who's a tremendous person and character.
The dragon.
I'd love to be like Toothless. He's a beautiful, beautiful dragon.
You big mythical bitch.
You big mythical bitch.
I don't think you can say that.
And smoke it with your fiery breath.
Yeah, beats being a fat bitch.
I don't think you can say that.
Well,
Got a great body.
your great body if you're a
Oh,
whale.
come on. All right, let's move on. Eddie, sorry you've had to witness that.
No, that's great. The last thing I want to leave you guys on is, have you guys watched the English game?
Yeah. We know someone who wrote some of the.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just watched it this weekend, and it's really interesting.
It's brilliant.
I was looking into it, and it wasn't all true, but it was still pretty interesting. Like the whole creation of the football pyramid.
Exactly. And showing that in them days, money got players to move.
Yeah. Which is, every time, like when they were mentioning it, I just kept thinking about Everton, and I was like, that's crazy. They mentioned Everton. They're like, Everton. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
That was
no, it's. Do you know what? That's a really good
Sam Hoare.
That was a really good show that just went like
it was brilliant.
missing in COVID.
That was it, yeah.
It was on during COVID and it just sort of went missing.
We had Sam on.
Yeah, we had him on during it. One of his videos
he wrote
there,
it. Great. The video's on YouTube. You look
it just sort of went missing because it was only one season and really they should have backed it up with like maybe more.
There should have been another
gone
one
forward with it, but it just went missing during COVID, to be honest. But it was a really good show. It was a really good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I just wanted to give that show shout out to anyone who hasn't seen it. I recommend it.
Yeah,
it's at least on American Netflix. So
brilliant. It's a brilliant show.
Well, thank you guys for your time.
Nice one, Ed.
Pleasure.
Cheers, Ed. Take care, mate. See you now.
Mate.
Bye. A couple of comments here. MB, Baz, do you still think we're better than Luton then? Yeah. And what shows? If only there was a way to see whether we were better than Luton. I think that proved correct at the time. And I love this one. It's from Tom. Hello, Baz, mate. I said on a super chat start of the season, if Dice got us 16, he was a miracle worker, and you got really angry and laughed at me. Who's laughing now? Cheers, pal.
I don't know.
I just leave people.
I just don't know. No, I don't know the answer to that. Who is laughing?
Well,
now?
I think Tom's saying he's laughing because Everton is 16. But I would raise you, Tom.
Okay.
6 points taken off and a points deduction. That Everton would be 13th, and who would be laughing then?
These are like fizzle. These are questions that I don't know the answers to.
I like that these 90 degrees better.
Yeah.
I'll be honest there. Rondon the Legend says yes, it was Baz when talking about Bakayoko. Yeah, of course. He was never catching me out with a salmon pink kit, was he, from Bakayoko?
I was wondering when he said that. It was like, no, we never had it. We had a pink kit in 2001, and we wore it against Blackburn. It was horribly. It was bobbly. That memory.
Isn't that it? No,
it's a Puma one.
the other one.
Puma one.
No, I remember it.
And it was mostly pink like that, and it bobbled.
It was a weird.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
it was horrible. Those.
That's 2010. That one.
That is 2010. Yeah.
That's the when we went and won the Australia Cup, wasn't it? And the Melbourne
Don't
Cup.
upset me. Talking about good times.
No, what was mad about that? We went and won that. Beckford won it. We were unbeaten that pre-season.
Yeah.
We won the cup in Australia. We were unbeaten. We went to Blackburn. Day one, Tim Howard dropped the ball and we got beat 1-0.
Some no marks.
Just shows you pre-season is rubbish. Doesn't mean anything. Well, it's actually amazing pre-season, but it doesn't. You can never take anything, can you? But what can you do? Ed Boucher says we need Ellis Sims back.
No.
Tom says Sims is nowhere near the Premier League level.
No.
Good business from the club. Listen, he hasn't been very good this season. Coventry fans have been slating him this season. I want to see him do well, and he's come good the last few games. Got a hat-trick in the Cup against a National League side last week. But he did score. He got a hat-trick last night. So good luck to him. I hope he does brilliantly for them. But for Everton in the Premier League, I think Tom Cannon's, in my opinion, is a better prospect than what Ellis Sims would be, I think. That way. But remains to be seen. But I'm glad he's scoring goals. Hope he does really well.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, it is. Gary Ward says Shogun is really good. Yeah. There you go. And Everton Vikings says Shogun is one of my favourite shows I've ever watched.
Been 2 episodes.
So far as I'm so excited for the next episode.
Calm yourself down there.
You might have seen more.
You're setting your expectations far too high.
I know. I might be watching it going, what's going on? Everton Viking also says, I also think far too many people get their opinions based on people on Twitter's opinion. Yeah. Mark says, my first ever away day was Palace and Madar scored twice. I was there and Mikel Madar didn't score twice.
2-2?
No.
2-1?
3-1. Nick Barmby, Duncan Ferguson, Mikel Madar, and I'm pretty certain Slaven Bilic gave a penalty away when we were 2-0 up.
Yellow kit with the blue shorts.
Yellow kit, blue shorts, blue socks. It was in January. I went to Palace on my own because, again, I was in my sister-in-law, so I drove to Palace, went in, wasn't expecting us to win because we didn't win away games. And I think Barmby scored after like 5 minutes or something, and we won 3-1. Dunk scored that header. Tony Thomas stood it up, and great header. And I think Tony Grant played, I think it was Grant, curled the ball over and Mikel Madar volleyed it in. And we were winning 3-1 at half time, and classic Everton never added to it, but we won a massively important game.
Good times.
Great times, mate. Seen Everton score 3 goals from open play. Incredible. Adam says, heard a lot of shouts over recent days saying not sure why we're not sacking Dice. He's a survival manager. Well, unless I'm mistaken, we are very much a survival team.
You're not wrong.
I think sometimes we still think we are winning things like the 80s. It's time for realism. There is no issue with wanting better, but let's not forget our level. Currently, we all may think we're a big club outside of our fan base. We are a nothing club making up the numbers. But I also think as much as Dyche's home record is poor, our fans will always find something to moan about regarding them. Say, again, being devil's advocate, say you're in the wrong now, Adam, and then fans are right to moan about them.
How'd you like those devil advocate-ness now?
Both sides, isn't it? 3 home games is a disgrace. End of story. But you're right, we are where we are. I wouldn't be sacking Sean Dyche now, because who are you bringing in right now? Although when I said this yesterday, I got people moaning at me saying, well, we brought Moyes in with 9 games to go and we stayed up comfortable and then he turned the club round. So, I don't know. I have no idea. I wouldn't be sacking him now. I just wanted to win some home games. Because, ultimately, that's the thing, isn't it? Get your own form right, because he's been good away. He's made us good away, or we're hard to beat away from home under him. He's done that really good. Bill says, rumours we will have to sell again before the 30th of June to comply with these farcical PSR rules. Several clubs are struggling to comply next season.
Rumours, schmoomers.
I don't know where they've come from, but... Stephen Fitt. Well, there'll be loads of clubs. Villa have got to sell Ollie Watkins before the deadline. Newcastle apparently have got to sell Isaac. And there's other clubs, isn't there? Leicester are already facing a points deduction for when they get promoted because they breached last time. It's all a load of bollocks. Yeah. There's going to be asterisks all over the gas next season.
Everywhere.
Asterix FC table, it's going to be called. But guess what? We've got someone on the phone who we haven't heard from for a while. And I think it's been a poorer place for him not being on the phone for a while. But he's back. It is the man, the myth, the legend. It's Astro. And in typical Astro style, there's nothing. It's either frogs or it's nothing.
Where is he, Ned?
Ned, where is he?
He's not here.
Then put him on then. Oh, Astro, unmute your mic.
Astro, Ned?
Why are you doing it, Ned? Why'd you hate the show?
Is he like a bad dragon or something?
I think he's disconnected.
Oh, we did have Astro. So I built it up and Ned ruined it. Oh. Stephen says, has anyone else not had an email from the club about sorting out the direct debit for season tickets? I sent them an email. They said there's been a delay and I'll have the application in 48 hours. That was over a week ago. Get back in touch, Stephen. Keep chasing them until they do it. Bill says, as much as I want to keep him, I fear a £70 million bid comes in for Branthwaite. He goes, shame we can't hold on to any quality. We have to find more Branthwaites. The only way we can progress like Brighton have. Absolutely. Right, that sounds very much like Astro. Are you there?
Yeah, mate, I'm here.
Yeah,
What's
we
up?
can hear you.
Go on, man. What have you got to say?
Oh, it's I had the strangest emotion on Saturday. Like we got the penalty, and I looked and I turned to Astro Jr. and Mrs. Astro, and I was like, I really hope he makes this. I was like, I totally love this guy's story, and I'm pulling for him, and I really want him to make this. And I looked at her, and I was like, so you know what that means? He's going to miss it, and obviously he missed it. And I looked at her and I just sat there. I didn't do anything. And she's like, are you all right? And I'm like, no, I'm actually not all right. And she goes, normally you fume, and I don't want Astro Jr. to pick up, I don't want him to wield profanity like I do. I'm like one of the Dutch masters with profanity, right? They had the art skills with a paintbrush. I got the vocabulary, the profane vocabulary of a Dutch master. You know what I mean? And I don't want him to pick that up. So I didn't do anything. And I just kind of was like, then Beto gets that header and we go up 1-0. And I'm like, well, I don't feel anything. And then they draw it. They equalize. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I know how this shit goes. And it's 3-1 by the time it's done. And like, I didn't even finish the match. I just said to hell with it, honey. Let's go. Let's go get Astro Jr. some nappies. They're selling them things in bulk at Target. Let's just go. I ain't even finishing this crap, and that's exactly where I'm at with it. And then I got to catch up on the television show Masters of the Air. Pat, have you caught up, or did you watch last Friday's episode?
I am full. Of course, I've watched it. I've watched it.
Good. Got it. Well, I don't want to say anything that's going to ruin anything for you because that's not what I do. But I got to thinking about it. Right?
Are you in the air?
Are you in a plane?
Flying at the moment?
No, mate.
Okay.
That's Chopper. That's one of the F-15 pilots.
Oh, okay.
I told him to knock that crap on the head Wednesday during lunch hour because I got people to talk to. But he gets up there and he shows his ass and he makes all that noise and he goes breaking the sound barrier,
Wow.
rattling windows when people are trying to have a chat. But I mean, hey, that's Americans, man. We're
Yeah.
always loud. You know, that's what we do. That's what assholes and freedom sound like. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. So anyway, like, listen. I've had this like idea in my head. I actually made notes today before I called you guys because it's that kind of important that I get my point across.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
You know, we've had 3 seasons of peril in a blue crucible, right? Ever since it was my birthday when they hired Benitez, right? It was my freaking birthday. That's what I got for my birthday that year. We hired a wanker. You know what I mean? And it's just been an absolute travesty ever since, right? So 3 seasons that have all run together into this one awful crucible that we've been in. And you know what? In the past, you would remember that I would beg people to go to Goodison and make noise and show up. You know what? I get it. Y'all ain't got to make no noise. You're tired. You're wore out. You're used up. And who in the world can make noise at something that is so uninspiring? The whole situation has just become uninspiring. And it's like, I normally look at things and I go, okay, what are we going to do in the short term to make things better? All right, we got a few points back, right? I'm not even getting into all that, all right, yet. But we're going to get there, not yet. And so we got 4 points back. Well, you know, we are going to seriously regret not winning these games later in the season, okay? I'm going to put that out there for future reference. And I go, okay, so things are a bit crap in the short term. You know, let's look at the midterm, right? What do we got kind of in the midterm future? And I look at, okay, well, you ain't signing anybody unless you sell somebody. And if you sell somebody, you're automatically weaker. And if you buy people, you got to get them in, you got to bet them in, they got to get Deitch fit or whoever's managing at that point, who knows? It's Everton, you know, so just wait for it. And then I go, okay, well, that's also not making me feel better. And then I look at the long term and I'm thinking, well, you know, we're going to have new owners and they're going to sort this all out. And I look at it and I go, I honest to goodness feel like I'm in a perpetual car crash that never stops when it comes to Everton, right? And I look at the owners and like, listen, I know y'all have to be fair and equivocal and balanced, and that's great. That's awesome. Nick doesn't have to be, okay? Astro ain't got to be. 777, they prey on people who are at risk and are vulnerable, right? They went and tried to buy settlements off of NFL players who were getting payouts through the concussion protocol, like actual like human-shaped locusts, right? And I've got stateside, you know, reporters who send me things on the slide and they go, you do not want these people anywhere near your football club. And I support Liverpool. These are people who've actually been to Anfield. They're respectable Reds, and they're going, I hate this for you because you don't want these people anywhere near your football club, right? So I look at, we've got all the demand of winning games. We couldn't score. We couldn't score in a house full of ladies of the night with a roll of hundreds and an 8 ball of cocaine. I mean, we just can't score. Okay. And then you look at everything else and you see the cavalry ain't coming, right? The club's not saying anything. And I just sit there and I look at it and I go, what do? Well, I'm going to tell you what you do. Okay. You roll your damn sleeves up. You lean into it and you persevere. You persevere Robert Rosie Rosenthal style. Okay, and if you don't know who Robert Rosie Rosenthal is, that's okay. You need to go watch Masters of the Air. Okay? This guy gets his 25 missions in a B-17, one of which he's the only one to return home from that squadron, right? Where they had to shoot down 3 German fighters and they flew home on 2 engines with a hole in the wing and an unexploded flak round in the other wing, right? This dude does 25 missions, and what does he do? He looks around and sees the fight's not done, can't leave it unfinished, and he rolls his sleeves up and he re-ups. That's what Evertonians have got to do right now. We've got to re-up. We've got to lean into it, and we've got to realize that while this has been 3 seasons of crap, we've realistically got 3 more seasons of crap ahead of us before we get a sniff of the promised land. And this ain't for the faint of heart, and it isn't meant to make anybody feel good. It's to help you feel better, because we have to persevere this absolute just reign of pain that we have been put to. And I'm going to tell you who we've been put to it by. We've been put to it by a club that ought to be, if it had the ability to be embarrassed by itself, it would have been so long ago, to the point where it would have done something differently and behaved better. And then you got the Premier League, right? You know what drew me to the Premier League? I'll never forget that first Everton match that I watched in full when Donovan was on loan. I want to say we were playing against City, and we literally went to the Etihad and whipped their ass and took their lunch money, wearing them sweet black kits with the pink trim on it. Went up there and whooped them like we had, like that's just what we did. And I watched that away end react to those goals, and I was like, this is incredible. And I've started learning about Everton. I started getting smarter about the Premier League, and it was the reactions to the goals, right? It was the competition, and it was the peril that every match mattered, because it's not like, the Atlanta Braves in the 80s where you can lose more games than you win and you get to stay in Major League Baseball. That ain't the way this works. You got to fight for your seat at the table every single season, week in, week out. We're talking about consequences. It was the competition and the consequences that drew me in and made Everton and the way the game was played so beautiful to me. It was watching the Gladish Street go absolutely mad. It was watching that whole stadium erupt. It was the passion. And right now, football, the life is being sucked out of it at every single level, because nobody can react to a goal honestly, energetically, because we got to worry about some peckerhead in the VAR booth turning it over because he don't like us, because we done made it hard for him. I'm sorry, Premier League, we made something hard for you. Won't you go cry? Won't you go get somebody to rub your back and make you some warm milk, some warm milk to soothe your little frayed nerves, okay? They have killed this game because now it's played between the lines of an Excel spreadsheet and not the lines of a pitch. That's the problem with what's going on right now. And the competition, you mean to tell me that if we appeal, they're not going to decide who goes up or stays down until after the season's over? You have destroyed the very thing that made me fall in love with this sport. Well done, Premier League. Well done, you. I hope all them pounds in your pockets and them penny nickels in your change purse can absolve you and make you feel better that you have literally been the architect of the destruction of the beautiful game and one of the most storied fan bases in it. These people have absolutely, positively persecuted us at every turn. And what are we going to do about it? I'll tell you what we're going to do about it. We're going to persevere. We're going to be a pain in these people's asses until they can't sit comfortable ever again. And we're going to stick around like a fart that ain't got enough sense to dissipate. We're going to stink the joint up and make every damn body uncomfortable. And all I can say is I hope the club can figure out how to just don't suck. Just don't get people in that know what they're doing. Get a communication department that actually, I don't know, for lack of a better term, communicates. Honest to God, what in the hell is Everton doing? You couldn't have done worse if you tried. I mean, honest to God, y'all tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Set me straight. But all I know to do is to double down and persevere. Club, not good enough. Team, not good enough. Premier League, the only people you're good enough for is them seditious shithouse 6 clubs that tried to destroy you, but you know you can't survive without. Greed is ruining the beautiful game, and we're watching it happen in real time, people. In real time.
Can't argue with any of that, mate. Can't argue with any of it. No, you're absolutely right, mate. Can't argue with any of it. I mean, yeah. Just Everton do your bit first. I think that's the main thing, isn't it? Everton do their bit first. Get this, whatever's happening, just get it sorted. Get good people into the club and do our bit first, and we'll worry about the Premier League next. But we'll do our bit first and get good people into the club, into good areas, get the club running well, and then we can we shouldn't have to worry about PSR and things like that because we'll be doing our bit. Because that's the thing about all these charges. It's we all deep down know that Everton themselves they've caused this. They've caused it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so get good people into the club and start moving forward. But until we do that, then we're sort of stuck in limbo, aren't we?
And that's why I just say we have to roll our sleeves up and we have to just lean further into it. Because the job is not done, and the hardest yards, they're probably ahead of us. I don't say that to put everybody in a downer. I say that because I feel compelled to, because I feel like the worst is yet to happen. I think there are still some serious challenges that we have yet to face down and arrive at an answer for. And I think that everybody needs to take serious stock of why they love this football club and what they're willing to do to support it, right? And I mean that by how much of yourself are you willing to put into it? Like, and it's hard because everybody has, you know, their jobs and their families and responsibilities and everything else. And there's only so much of any of us on our best day. And you have to look at it and go, how much of myself can I commit to this? And you just have to do your part. But be it great or small, my part is very small. Y'all's is much greater with the platform that you have. To be an honest broker of the information and to try to inform people as best you can, because you're looking through a keyhole. And nobody's giving anybody really accurate information. Everybody's cobbling together the best sight picture they can with the best information they can get from their sources, but there's no transparency and there's no accountability, and there hasn't been for ages. And that has to change.
Absolutely. But there's no one to change it at the moment, though, mate. That's the problem. They're all I don't know what they're doing, mate, but they're all,
mate, it's a ship without a rudder. and the motor's about to stop.
Well, it's a ship without a leader. There's no, all the people who were there under the last regime are still there, and they've got nobody driving them forward, and they're all working off what they've been working off for the last 5, 10, 15 years. Yes, there has been a shift, and I will give them that in some of the way they are doing things. I think people feel a little bit freer.
No.
To act. No, just a little bit. I think you got to give a little bit of credit to a few people who are there, who are trying and have the freedom to change a few things at the club. But they can only go so far because they can't go all the way, because you're butting against something that is entrenched in this football. There's a culture at this Everton in this club. We saw that today, mate, with the
with the Crystal Palace season ticket bid.
We saw that, and that encapsulates, and people might just, people can look at that and go, oh, that's nothing. But if you want to look at a football club in one image right now, that's it. Celebrate the final season at Goodison Park. You know, the last season where Goodison Park, a place that memories have been made for years and years and years, and we all have our own, whatever they are. But to use a image of a Crystal Palace game that we survived in, which now the club have informed me and have told me, they said, well, that's just for people who've only been a season ticket for a holder for the last couple of years. So that's their that might be their only memory. But I don't agree with that, because the way I look at it is there's nothing on earth should make that a lasting memory of Goodison Park. That shouldn't be anyone's lasting memory. Introduce those people to older memories then. Have a situation when they said they were doing it was the final season and they brought the package out and they had that nice video, brilliant. A lot of people that were so, you know, they looked at it and it was, oh my God, look at that. Well, then pick moments from that then and say, and be like, this is, so someone will get this and someone will get, but don't stick to those core images and those core memories. So someone might say, I wasn't there for that, but I can ask someone who was. And almost pass that knowledge on to somebody. Do you know what I mean? Pass that knowledge on to someone, how they felt. You know, it doesn't matter what you like. It doesn't matter how you experienced it. You know, I wasn't alive for the first Star Wars film, but I understand it, and I understand other people have spoken about it and all these. Do you know what I mean? It's like, Why are we living off memories of terrible, like a terrible moment? Which for one night, yeah, there was a great release and it was fantastic for that moment. But after that, it becomes a horrible thing that you're carrying around. Everton survived relegation, and then other people latch onto that. Then fans of other clubs, if they see that, and they go, "You're celebrating staying up." And then it's like, this is what we get dragged into. So there has to be a change of culture at the football club to move forward. But unfortunately, at the football club right now, there is no one to make that decision. And there will not be anyone till we get bought, because the owner does not care. He is checked out. And the people at the club... Yeah, and the people at the club are very much... Because they've been in a culture... don't know how to make their own culture, and don't know. Probably half of them are like, well, what's the point? I might, just keep doing what we do every day and move on like we do, and hope we can inspire ourselves to do slightly different things. But while we are where we are, it's very hard, isn't it? It's just really hard to create new memories or get excited about anything. And you're right. It's like we just have to all dig in a little bit.
Yeah, and the only people who are willing to celebrate mediocrity are the people who accept mediocrity.
Yeah.
And that is just an absolute shame. I didn't come to be chosen an Evertonian until 2010. Okay. So, I've listened to Baz talk about how he experienced that night against Bayern Munich at Goodison. And you know what, right? The way he's told that. And Baz has told me this in person, and I've seen him talk about it on Toffee TV. And I swear to God, it's the closest I'm ever going to get to being there. It is. It's the closest I'm ever going to get to being there. And I obviously, that doesn't fall inside the time frame of my category of being an Evertonian, but it's still part of my Everton experience, knowing your history. I mean, my God, it's what the club bases itself on. But at the end of it all, the football club, even the people that worked there, they are but a blip on a long timeline, right? The Evertonians that go to that match week in and week out, that are there year after year, you are the lifeblood. You are the consistency. You are the football club. And you must roll your sleeves up and persevere. You will outlast any owner. You'll outlast any chairman. And you'll outlast any employee. We just have to roll our sleeves up and persevere. And I've got to not get washed away in this deluge that's just open.
Is that rain?
Is that rain? Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Got split, guys. We'll catch you later.
Nice one, Astro.
Cheers, Astro.
Wow. I thought that was like a truck going past.
Yeah.
No.
Nice one, mate.
It was rain.
Wow. Well, me headphone. That was rain. Passionate stuff from Astro, as always, and that's great. That's why we do this call up. So you can get on and give us, you might want to come on and test us with the shared knowledge that you absolutely have no idea of, or you want to get on and have a good old rant. That's what it's here for. The link is there. It's on Toffee TV Premier. You have to, of course, be a Toffee TV Premier if you want to call in. But why wouldn't you be? It costs less, certainly less than a pint, unless you're going to an old man's pub where Ned goes. Costs about the same as getting a coffee.
One coffee
for a month. And also we're starting a new show soon. Well, it's a return of an old favourite. Toffee Box. Who remembers that? Where me, Baz, and we're going to bring Ned on board with us for this. He has to come on board. And we will sit down, and those memories Astro's just been talking about, we will go through. But it will be exclusive on Toffee TV Premier, because we can't put it on YouTube because we'll get loads of copyright strikes and we can't have that. So it'll be exclusive. So that's and anyone who's watched them will know how good they are. We sit down and we watch some videos from the past, whether they are official season reviews or whether they are maybe 2 or 3 games back to back of someone we're playing that week or whatever it is. But we'll have Ned added. It'll have added Ned, which who doesn't want added Ned?
It's the dream.
Old hiccup over there.
It's the dream. Foyd Rage says, please know I care. I like every video, but I can't afford to sub. I'm not a red. Well, if you could sub on YouTube, because it's free. And also you can sub on more than a game as well.
Did he say he's not a red?
I'm not a red. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Fletcher says, can we constantly qualify for the Champions League with Moyes? Could we consistently win trophies with Moyes? Could we make Liverpool lose sleep during the derby days with Moyes at the helm? No.
I think the latter one, I think you would say yes. Finished above Liverpool a few times in his tenure.
The EFC Grange says, think all they care about is that they'll have a job rather than how to make the club stronger. That's all they've ever cared about. That's all they've ever cared about at Everton. A lot of the staff... that's all they've ever cared. I can't say that's the people now are there, but in the past. But in the past, and certainly like the board and the CEO. The Blues on that Crystal Palace thing says, I'd rather have just had a recent picture of fans celebrating or something rather than that game.
A picture that was ripped from a video as well because it had the score in the corner.
Rod says, I feel like until 777 make us able to function again and flip us, this is just going to go on for a while. I've not. I don't know. All that picture. Rod's just said, it took me long enough to get Prem to work. No chance I can work on ringing in.
All you got to do is
you only have to click the thing.
What you got to do?
If
you're on your phone, just have some headphones. Or if you're on all you got to do is click the link and you're through to us. Go straight to Ned and he puts you on. Honestly, all you need is to click the link and have a pair of headphones.
Go ahead, Rod. Take you a second.
It's not complicated. It's the most easiest thing in the world. Press the link and it'll take you through to Ned. And just have some headphones in so we can hear you clearly and you don't get all the background noise. I mean, if the background noise is jets going supersonic, no issue. Rain. No issue with that at all.
Foyd Rage says, I've never cried over Everton, but I have come close. 94, 98 in the last 3. This season I feel the tears welling. I've consistently commented regarding the stadium, not out of spite but out of dread. Danny says, is the club going to use a picture of Brett Angel hugging Mike Walker?
Well, if you go on my Twitter, you'll see I've done a couple of alternatives, which I think are tremendous.
Fletcher says, the man never won at Anfield in 11 years, Ped. No, but we did beat them at home, which we don't tend to do. We did beat all the top, like big clubs at home, which we don't do anymore. Just saying.
We've won once, bar the COVID season. We've won at Anfield, by the way, in my lifetime 6 times. I'm 45.
7 in mine.
So let's not make it all about Moyes. Kendall's record there wasn't like unbelievable. Colin Harvey's wasn't unbelievable. He won twice in the league.
Yeah, and a cup. Wasn't bad. It was like 50. It wasn't bad. It was like 50% of the time. That's less than that.
That
40.
COVID doesn't matter. It doesn't count. COVID doesn't count for anything. Doesn't count. Liverpool didn't win the league, so nothing else happened.
The Clay Shack says, guys, it worries me that the final season at Goodison will be in the Championship. The old lady doesn't deserve that. Then I worry about next season's survival. Bramley Moore in the Championship. Got to start winning games, mate. Yeah. Got to start winning games. We can go on. People can moan about points deductions or moan about, whatever. They've got to start. The coaching staff, the manager has got to work out a way how to play at home, and these players have got to work out a way how to kick a ball straight into a goal, start winning games. Absolutely ridiculous. Right, we've got Gaz, who was in hospital, making the call. So, Gaz, I hope you're feeling a little bit better. But what do you want to say, mate?
Mike's on mute.
Mike is on mute, Gaz. Unmute yourself, son.
Go ahead, can you hear me all right now?
I can hear you now. Go on, mate. What do you want to say? First of all, how are you?
Okay, so, not good, mate. Not good.
Not good.
I've been in hospital for 19 days now. But at least another week. But it just gives you time to think and realise how shite they are. And that's really what it is. Just, you try and just go past it, move past, but it's made me realise 2 things. Firstly, this Everton team are garbage. I don't care about the Premier League or Daesh or whatever. These players are simply not good enough, and we need to realise that. And we can't go into next season blind like we are this season, because it's not a case of we're unlucky. It's not a case of the Premier League's against us. They're just not. They're not good enough. Simple as.
And that comes back to the director of football, doesn't it?
It comes back to everything. it comes back to top to bottom. The club has not been run correctly since Moyes first time.
Yeah.
And I've heard all the videos, and that's one argument you would not have from me is the club's just not been run correctly for too long.
No.
We've got away with it for too long, and we think that we're entitled because we are a big club. We've got the history. We know what we are, but at the end of the day, we're just gonna. Well, it's got to give somewhere, and we're gonna end up going down. By the way, I'm just doing a blood transfusion right now, so if you hear me make a few squirming noises, it's just while I'm doing a blood transfusion. Don't worry about it.
Brilliant. Go on, mate.
Just one of the joys. Yeah.
What?
Come on.
I was just gonna say, what have you actually got? Because I've seen part of your story and stuff, but.
Right, so what happened was I get a bit of arthritis.
Yeah.
And I thought I had arthritis. I was self-diagnosing. It was painful, but just getting on with it. And my missus was like, no, this isn't getting any better. You need to go and see someone, blah, blah, blah. And I was being a manager, I'll be all right.
Yeah, classic
all
man.
This type of stuff. And in the end, she come on from work last Sunday. I was off with it being Sunday, and I was just delusional. Didn't know what day it was, didn't know what was going on. And if it had been a couple of hours later, I'd have died. Because what had happened is it was a real bad infection just out of nowhere. It just got in, and it was breaking into all joints, my knees, my ankles, my wrists, my shoulder, everything. It can get into your back, your blood. It was in my blood, it was in my kidneys. And there was just nothing had caused it. It had not been bit or just nothing. It's just from nowhere. So then the process from then was we were able to do MRI scans on each individual part of my body, finding out what parts of the body had actually been infected, and then operating to get rid of the infection, flush it all out, give it a few days, operating again to make sure it's definitely gone, and then move on to the next one. And that's where we are now. Just working my way around my body, getting rid of this infection. Yeah, so it's not good.
Yeah.
But like you say, it's for the first week or so, I was completely out of it, but I'm more with it now, and I've been watching a lot of football.
Oh God.
And that's my second point. That's my second point. Football's shite.
Yeah, it is, mate.
As well. I don't watch football at all. I don't watch it, but when I'm in here, at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And I've just been watching whatever's on. And, God, if we feel how we feel now, I don't know how you can go to that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go on, mate.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I just don't know how you can go to that. At least, we're garbage, but at least we were ahead. Coming into the 90th minute, at Sheffield United, literally getting 5 put on them every week at home. I just don't know how you can do it. But even the good teams are just shite to watch. It's just made me realise. Premier League's absolute crap. Who is watching this?
I've been saying
even the Man United Man City game, I didn't think that was up to much.
No.
Said for ages, it's the most overhyped.
That was probably the best game this week.
Yeah. The most overhyped league in the world.
No, it's crap, mate. It's crap.
But it's Champions League as well. I thought Bayern Munich Lazio last night was crap as well. I watched all of that, and it's all of it.
No, it's rubbish.
Guys, I tell you what, I will have to let you go on to the next one, guys, because I've got.
Go on, mate. Go and get your blood transfusion.
Nice one, guys. Great to hear.
Good luck, mate. Thinking of you. Good luck. Ta-ra, pal. Ta-ra, mate.
Nice one, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that just shows you get all kinds of callers, but at the end of the day,
and by the way, he honestly is in a really bad way. He's not even exaggerating. He's in a really bad. He could have died if his missus. He's
few hours and he would have been dead.
Done a poll on.
Good luck.
Done a poll in the comments. Are you looking forward to leaving Goodison Park? And 72% said yes. Out of 345. Good numbers. Interesting. Just interesting.
Yeah. Rita says, would be a damn better side with Moyes as much as I like Deitch.
No, The thing is, though, it shouldn't be this thing of like no one's talking about. It's just a conversation we had yesterday, but no one's saying we should sack Dyche. It's just interesting when you hear different things about what's going on. At the club and who could take us forward and stuff. So, so some people absolutely love or think Dyche is doing a brilliant job. It depends which way you look at it, isn't it? Some people, if you think the players are absolutely terrible, then maybe Dyche is doing a good job. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle. Ned, what are you doing with the comments? Well, you're not though, are you? You broke the comments. You're breaking hearts.
Yeah. Well, Stan said, all right, lads, free weekend next week, so heading up to watch Big Dunks Cali. Pet, it's easier to drive as the trains are crap.
I'm going the week after, but they're away and I've got the dog, so I couldn't go. But I've just seen there's a nice scarf might invest in. Big Dunks Army.
There you go. Mark says Carlo going to prison for 5 years. I'd still take him to manage us from his cell. Stan also says we have every right to moan. We moan because the standards are so low now, but we can't get rid of him till the end of the season. Home form is diabolical. No. I don't think he can move us forward, but he's definitely not the only one to blame. No, he isn't the only one to blame whatsoever. And listen, no one's saying what are they? It was just we do a thing on Premier, as you'll know, Stan, of called the Tuesday Topic, and someone just questioned if you had a choice in the summer, who would you pick, Moyes or Dyche? That was it. That's how that's come about. I know a lot of people, because David Moyes is out of contract in the summer, a lot of Evertonians are going, I just want to take Moyes back. There's other managers out there if you were looking to replace. I mean, a lot of people would want someone like Kieran McKenna from Ipswich, who's a young up-and-coming manager. But
not while the club's like this.
No, you couldn't do it, and certainly not in season either.
Clubs like this.
But we need to sort that out.
That's all we're saying, is that it has to start at the top and it has to be top down. You can't. There's no.
Dick L says, Dick L. Yeah, I'd probably sack Dyche. If we don't win at Old Trafford, we'll have no wins in 11 games. That's one win in 14 games.
That's
if you had the cup game.
Factually correct.
We need to have standards. This is unacceptable. I'd sack him, bring in Rooney to get a bounce. New manager Buzzer Goodison will bring wins. Then in the summer, we have new owners and start at the top. A new board, a new chairman, a new CEO, new director of football, new manager. Thomas Tuchel, David Moyes, Jose Mourinho, possibly Eric Ten Hag will need a job. Plenty of options in the summer. We just need to be stopped being so beaten down and accepting of this crap that Dyche is serving us.
I said yesterday, mate, manager bouncers don't work, I'm afraid. They just don't work. I think what we need right now is just stability. Personally, that's my opinion.
And the other thing is this.
That's just my opinion.
Bringing in Wayne Rooney and then saying you're gone in the summer to someone else will just smack a Frank Lampard at Chelsea at the end of last season and he won one game. Wayne, although I think he will make a good manager and probably will manage Everton at some stage, needs to go and do a job somewhere, doesn't he? And right now you couldn't, even if he was a good manager, you couldn't drop him. I don't think you'd drop him in now with 11 games to go.
He hasn't got the experience.
You've got to be.
He hasn't got the experience.
And like you said before, there's nothing in place at the club. You're right with the other bit. Get new owners in, get a board, get a CEO in and think that's all correct, Dick. You're right. Get that structure in place.
Wayne has to go and do what Dunk's doing, which is go to a club.
He said he'll go to
where you're not going to be sacked and you can just get on with the job and there's no drama and you know you're just going to be allowed to do the job and learn how to be a manager. Get your coaching team in there and learn how to be a manager and do a good job. I mean, they're all talking about Kieran McKenna because he's left Manchester United, gone to Ipswich, and he's doing amazing.
And they were in League One when he went there.
And he's doing amazing. And he's showing that he might be ready for like a Premier League club next season, but probably not, because if he gets Ipswich up, let's just say
he'll stay. Surely
then he should stay and get Premier League experience.
If he leaves, if he gets them up, he'd be stupid to leave there because his stock's only going to rise, isn't it? Canukes and Kennedy says we need to sack Dyche even if we survive. People want Thomas Frank. Yeah, Thomas Frank. Good manager, but would he leave? I mean, he might do, because he might say, I've kind of done all I can do at Brentford, but then he wouldn't come to Everton just right now anyway, because Brentford are in a dogfight, and like we keep saying, until anything is sorted out structurally, we aren't doing anything, are we? We're just bobbing along. And this is why I've been banging on saying, just give us the decision. If it's yes to 777, then get it done. If it's no, then get it out there. Make the decision so we can move to whatever. Well, I don't know. Will Mashiri carry on funding it? Who knows? But I doubt it, because you're probably better off just cutting your cloth and going, I'm done.
There's only one man for the job.
Mark.
His name's Diego Simeone.
Oh.
Let's get it right.
I thought you meant Mark Cuban.
No, he's the only man. No, you get Mark Cuban to own it, and then you get Diego Simeone, and then you get the new ground, and then you go, and then that's it. That's all. That's the plan. That's my plan, and I'm sticking to it.
Celtic Vape says, Ped, when you go to Scotland, stick Big Dunk in the boot and drop him off at Finch Farm so we can get Dom going again.
He wouldn't fit in my boot. I've got to see it. That's an issue straight off the back.
Canuckstrom on Eddie Howe. Fletcher says, if we get Moyes back, it's a statement that we cannot compete without Moyes. We're not a charity.
No, it's. I don't think it is a statement. I think what it is it's saying we still need stability out of our football club. It's not time to go and get that young, adventurous young man, because we haven't got the stability. And what we need is someone to come in and do a job where it's like what Dyche has been doing, but with a slightly higher ceiling, which is what I think we both think Moyes has got. And then maybe you move on. I don't think the club is ready to be handed over to a late 30s, early 40-year-old coach quite yet. I think it needs that stability and needs a man who knows how to stabilise a club and then take it on. My belief is that David Moyes is better at that than Sean Dyche. Some people might feel differently. Someone just mentioned Lee Carsley there. I don't think it's the right time to give a job like Everton's to a Lee Carsley. Hasn't done anything in the game yet. He's worked in international football. That's completely different. Fella's got his eyes on the England job, by the way. Very much so. It's why he didn't go to Ireland, I think, because he thinks if the FA does what
they do promote from within,
they've got succession planning in place. And who else is going to get the England job? Eddie Howe, Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard would jump at it, but would you give Frank Lampard the England job? I wouldn't. Eddie Howe be like, hang on, I'm managing a team who could be richer than anything in the world. I'm not going anywhere. England are looking at succession plan, and they're looking at an under-21s coach who won the Euros. What's next for him? Well, if he's a good coach, then he can manage England, can't he? So, for me, I'm not saying we should be giving it to Moyes. It's about stability. This football club has to get stable first.
Griff says Neville Southall left the dressing room at half time in 1993 because he thought standards were starting to drop. Spot on. This needs a root and branch approach, not a reliance on new manager bounce. Ian says Rooney's not the answer. I can't understand the attraction of former players becoming managers. It doesn't work for the majority of occasions. Yet history tells you only former players have ever won anything at Everton.
That is facts.
That is fact. The Clay Shack says Dyche is the only manager that cope with all the crap that surrounds us, but I definitely would chase him in the summer. Darren says Moyes is an upgrade over Dyche 100%. We get Moyes, we can bin off the Doff model. Posh Matty says I wouldn't have given Southgate the England job. He got sacked in the Championship with Middlesbrough.
It's a different job, isn't it? It's a different job. Being the England manager or being an international manager is very much different from being a day-to-day football manager. Facts.
No, Fletcher, it's not that. It isn't that. Getting a Champions League trophy winning manager, nobody would come to Everton in that mould. I don't think. I love Thomas Tuchel, even though he can be a problem. I don't see anybody of that stature wanting to manage Everton Football Club right now, especially with no money or limited money. So
they have to come to the club and know that the club can back them, don't they? So
exactly. So you'd have to. You're talking eventually someone who's gonna come in and build the club, and hopefully, you get processes in place that you can get young and move a bit like a Brighton model, but really just like what Moyes did.
A Brighton model. I like that.
Brighton type model. So, yeah, we'll see.
Right, we're done, aren't we?
We are done. That's it. Hang on, let me just refresh Premier before we go.
Ned's got a dragon to ride.
Not seeing it tonight, is he?
Oh!
You like that?
Marlene!
Are you having that, Marlene? You say that, but definitely Moyes, by the way, says Stan. Says the Palace game was the game my lad actually got us. So for me, it was a good memory regarding that. He says the same. The atmosphere, the crowd, it was us, the fans, as usual. Even my lad wants better memories, though. Kills me when he says, do I think I'll ever see us win the league in his life? Madness. I tell him all the time to keep the dream. Bill says, love you, Astro. Welcome back. Agree with every single word. Benjamin says, nice one, Astro. Please don't change. That was boss. And Dick L says, I was actually in the crowd when Pat Van Den Hauwe scored to win us the league at Norwich. The 95 cup final was one of the happiest days of my life. But to be perfectly honest, the 94 game against Wimbledon was the most incredible I can remember. 2-0 down, we were gone, relegated, when Diamond scored the winner to make it 3-2. I'll never forget that moment. The game is always one I think of. We must be ashamed of games we must not be ashamed of games like that, because our history is rich.
No, I don't think we should be ashamed of histories like that. I just don't think that we should, as a football club, be pushing them on days of why
you should renew.
You should renew your season ticket and go, because what are you saying? Hey, we could have another one of them next season. Won't that be great? No, thanks. Didn't put the Bournemouth game on one, did they?
Scream if you want to go loud.
Yeah, I think that's the common theme, isn't it?
And Fletcher says, in the new stadium, Conte, Poch, Carlo again. The brand revamps when we move. Just look at Spurs. Got to be in the right place, though, aren't we? I mean, Poch, not convinced at all. Not convinced at all. David says, we're not going to pay off another manager. May as well move on from this conversation. What? Well, he's only on it. He's got a year left. It wouldn't be much. And we're not even saying that. We've been asked.
We're having conversations.
That was there, that other people are saying it. So, and Danny says we should be totally ashamed of obviously having to win to stay up.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Right. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined us. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. We'll be back tomorrow. Take it easy. Have a good night. See you later.
Bye.